Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce my name first. My name is ANANG and I'm from Umrah or Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji. And today I would like to review a journal. The title is Exploring University Students' Willingness to Communicate and Unwillingness to Communicate in UNWILLINGNESS. The authors of this journal was Fitri, Susanti, Ilyas. And in the abstract, she told us that this research aimed to investigate the contribute factors influencing students' willingness to communicate, or WTC, and unwillingness to communicate, or WTC, in English as a foreign language or EFL, in higher educations in Indonesia. The case study was conducted to first years Tanjung Pura University students, which came from several non-English departments. These students were observed for 6 weeks, which is long enough. Then 10 of them, which represent the WTC and un-WTC group, were selected to participate in semi-structured interview. So they do an interview to gain some information for this journal. The result revealed that there were two main underlying factors that contributes to their WTC and UNWTC, namely individuals and external factors. The individual's factors were ideal to self, confidence, anxiety, and perceiver communications, while the external factors were teachers' personality, types of activities and topics, classroom atmosphere. Both individuals and external factors were interconnected and affected students' WTC and un-WTC in the EFL classroom. And for the background of this study or this journal is to exploring willingness and unwillingness university students in Tanjung Pura to communicate in EFL. And the object of this study, of course, the students in Tanjung Pura, they are divided into 3. The first one is management, architecture, engineering, and information system. And for this research designed, they taking a quantitative study. They used an interview and make a list based on that interview to gain the informations for this study. And we come into the summaries or the real things in this in this journal. There were 2 individuals factors, the internal and the external factors. The first one is the individual factors. There are 4 internal factors that the students willingly and unwillingly to speak or communicate with another student in EFL. The first one is the ideal L2 or ideal self. And the second, we have confidence, which commonly happens when we talk to new students or to talk to our friends, even though we use an English. It would be embarrassing sometimes. And the second, we have anxiety, and some people who suffered from anxiety really hate to communicate. They don't hate to communicate, but they are suffered because they want to communicate, but they can't. They just can't. Like, I want to speak with him, but that bird part, so annoying. And the last but not least is perceived communicate competence. Sometimes when we speak, the competence will always be there. Like, if you try to speak like you want to speak for fun, and there will always the competence who wants to compete you with their best English skills. Who does that? And we come to the external factors. There are 1, 2, and 3 factors. They are teacher personality. Sometimes teachers' personalities can be fun. Sometimes the teacher's personality can be, angry or mad or sad, like that, which make the students of this study feels like, oh, I don't want to communicate because I'm afraid. And for the willingness, because, oh, this teacher is so fun to talk with, so they become talkative person only in this teacher's course. You know what I mean? Teacher's personality affect your skills or yourself. Second one, we have types of activities and topics. We speak in general, but sometimes when we speak into certain activities or topics, we sometimes feel like, what are these words, or how do I speak in these topics or in these activities? I don't know the words, I don't know the grammar, I don't know how to pronounce that sometimes. And the third one is classroom atmosphere. Now, this is the serious questions. I mean, this is the serious things that happens today or will happen tomorrow in the classroom, because classrooms are the place to study, and where is the place to study is the place that need to be conducive, need to be like fun, need to be like a lot of interactions, a lot of communications. But sometimes we have a classroom mate or classmate that don't want to communicate or sometimes don't want to cooperate, which is fine, but please, you live in society, you need to socialize. And then we come into discussions. They will find that external and internal factors were the biggest things that affect these students willingness and unwillingness to speak, to communicate in EFL. But interestingly, anxiety and confidence, which are known for being the most crucial variables for willingness to speak, are not only suffered by the WTC or willingness to communicate students. Even the students who always showed up at high levels of WTC sometimes experience lacks of confidence and anxiety when they had to speak during the class, like us. The way they reacted to the anxiety, however, made the enormous difference. Students who belonged in the WTC group maintains their willingness to talk in spite of their fears of being criticized, ignored, or humiliated for the mistake they made, while the WTC students complied with their apprehensions and remained silent during classroom activities. Because of that thing, the anxiety and confidence, like they were the most crucial things. Like, yeah, I don't know how to say, we are college students too. We have anxiety and we have confidence. And sometimes those things doesn't work. Those things doesn't want to cooperate with us. So yeah, I can feel this journal too. And then we come into this conclusions. With limited numbers of qualitative research done on the issue, this present study tried to provide a deeper insight on the issue, especially in the context of non-English students in higher educations in Indonesia. The findings revealed that there are numerous factors behind these students, WTC or un-WTC. The factors encompass ideal L2 self-confidence, anxiety, perceived conditions comprehensions, teachers' personalities, types of classroom activities, and atmosphere, and the topic. The interactions among those factors lead to students' decisions to speak, or continue being silent in the class. There are some suggestions made based on the finding in this study. First, due to the complexity of underlying causes of WTC and un-WTC, Indonesian universities should consider the psychological issues in creating their EFL classes, since their issues has the undeniable influences in the success and failures of learning, such as anxiety, such as confidence, such as, that thing. Second, teachers should be equipped with not only the pedagogical, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, knowledge, but also about psychological issues in language learning and how to incorporate this knowledge into their teachings. For instance, they need to build students' characters or confidence, especially when the students have pretty much low self-esteem or low self-confidence and constantly consider themselves as incompetent language learners. Moreover, teachers need to put the students' preferences into considerations in creating classroom activities or selecting topic for the lessons. And finally, the factors found in the study might only be the tip of the iceberg. The author believes that there should be more studies conducted to find other reasons behind the students' WTC and un-WTC. in the Indonesian's context. This study could only cover small numbers of participants and done in short spans of time. Therefore, the future research should cover larger numbers of participants, preferably from the other levels of education and other areas in Indonesia. Also, the research should be done for longer durations to gain a lot of information, informations to get richer data. Okay. To explain the obscurity behind WTC and non-WTC. I think that's it for me. Thank you for watching this video. My name is ANANG and I would like to, give me some comments, or maybe you want to give me more insight to speak better, or insight to review a journal better, because I think this journal is so good and so relatable in my life as a college student. And I found out that those things, that two factors like external and internal factors, really playing a role or a part in my life as a student, as a college student. Well, thank you all. See you next time. Bye bye. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.